Jamie here. Rollins. I was ready a minute ago. I'm not even going to tell you what happened, okay? Just second record. And I had it down pat, everything. Okay. So she came to my store, excellent customer, and she bought some things. And she started telling me about what she was going to make it. And then she sent me this picture of it. And then I was like, oh my freaking, that's awesome. My YouTube subscribers must know how to make this. This is going to be fun.
It's
totally
so much fun to make.
And it's not really hard.
No.
It requires,
can do this.
Yes, but it requires some supplies, but it's not that big a deal. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I've got the bed head. I've been through that once, so it won't be near as funny, right? That's right, but you missed it. Anyway, I've got the bed head because I'm allergic to my hairspray. I'm allergic to my gel. My face has been broke out for months. I can't find one that I'm not allergic to. If you know an hypoallergenic hairspray or gel that might work for me, please post it in the comments because I'm getting frustrated. So anyway, so I don't look my best today, but Steve likes it. Guys, what can you do with them? Men. Alright, so let me show you what this freaking awesome candle looks like. It's so cool. I know you can see me, but you're fixing to see me through here. Isn't that awesome?
So neat. So much fun to make.
Alright, so now I loved the idea and I so wanted to show y'all how to do it, and I want one too. And so now you can make this for any reason. I mean, if you enjoy working with herbs and resins and you would like to put a mix together for a particular reason, that's cool. But otherwise, if you just want to throw together what you have in your pantry per se, this does not have to be specifically a certain way. This is totally just, let's just try anything and use things that we have on hand. But a couple of things you have to have. You have to have Essential Depot's beeswax, and I prefer the yellow because it's so much prettier in the jar. You can get contrast. You can get the bleached, but I like to always use the yellow because I feel like it's got, if there's any benefit left in this wax, it's the wax that has not been laid out in the sun and bleached to death. So I always use the yellow. All right, and then you're gonna need a wick, and technically I'll show you as we go that you wouldn't technically have to have a wick, but you wouldn't get all the benefit or the aspect of the candle. All the possibilities wouldn't be as possible without the wick. But if you don't have a wick, you could do something else, but we'll just go from there. All right, so you need a wick, all right? And then you need a jar. A canning jar is really nice because it can tolerate heat, so you know that you're not gonna burn your house down because the glass broke and it blew up, you know, and caught the sofa on fire. But if you do have an old candle jar that you can clean, or if you know for sure that the container that you're using can handle the heat of a candle, then that's what we want to go with. But a canning jar is always safe, and Mama's got an extra one in a cupboard somewhere. Just go digging around, you'll find one.
It's always in the back.
It's always in the back, that's right. So that's the three components that we must have.
Yep.
And the first thing that we do now is we're going to stick the wick to the bottom of the jar.
You got to make sure that wick's not going anywhere.
All right, so you said that you just took a piece of wax?
Yeah, all I did was I took this, and first off, I push it onto the wick so it stays in place most of the time. That way it makes it easier, and I just take a little bit of heat.
Hang on a second.
You just take a little bit of heat and get it melting. And you know it's starting to melt when you see it get all nice and shiny. Come on, wax, melt. Oh, there it goes. Once it gets all nice and shiny, you know it's starting to melt. And you stick it straight down. Don't wait for it to cool. And I usually grab something very long that I can press it down with.
Hang on.
I knew I would forget something. My bad.
There you go.
Yep. Ooh. And you just take it and you press it, and it helps mount the candle wick to the base of your candle. And there you go.
Totally cool.
Yep. Last time you're going to need something to poke it with, though.
Alright. Alright, so then the first thing we do we put a little wax on the bottom?
Yeah. The important thing is you want a 2-to-1 ratio to whatever herbs you're putting in to your wax. Because if you put in too much herbs, it's going to be all burn and no melt.
Okay. So a 2-to-1.
Yes, whatever you're measuring it with, you want 2 parts of wax to 1 part of your herbs.
Okay, so 2 parts of wax to 1 part of herb.
Right. And it doesn't really matter what you're mixing it into, you just want a 2-to-1.
2-to-1. Alright. So if I don't know for sure that it'll hold it, but it'll give us the ability to measure. So if I take, I'm gonna get these little pieces I picked up. I wasn't sure how many you'd need.
You just need 1.
Okay. So we have 2 containers of wax, and then this is our other container.
And you can mix and match any sort of herbs, any smell goods that you like.
Okay.
At this point, it's at the discretion of the viewer.
Okay. So one of the things we got to do is either we use do we break these little beads up, or if we just have the little ones, we don't have to break them up.
If they're small, you don't have to break them up.
Okay.
But anything bigger than a dime, you want to kind of crush it down just a little.
Okay. So I'm going to lay some of these out. So this is our myrrh and our frankincense.
Is more than perfect.
Okay, so how about if I do that and you pick out?
Just pick and choose what we want.
Yeah, just pick them out, what you think would be good. And then we know that we can't have more than the mass of this container.
Right.
But I don't really want to mix it all up. Did you mix it all up, or did you sprinkle a little here and a little there?
Actually, I did it in layers, and then I didn't like how the layers looked so separate, so I shook up the jar after I was done.
Okay, so you do like it mixed.
I do.
All right.
But at the same time, that's whatever the viewer wants.
All right, and so now this is frankincense and myrrh. Did you get enough?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Because you got a lot of other stuff you got to mix in.
Yeah. So a little bit of frankincense and myrrh resin. This is the drops. I think this is straight off the tree.
Yeah, they usually collect it from an oozing tree.
Yeah. And so, well, kamikaze. All right, so I'm using resin too. Do you think resin is essential, or do you think just herbs and wax would be fine?
You want some woody stuff because they will burn longer. And resins, because they are very hard, they will burn a little bit longer. You want a good mix of the two, just to give a good steady herb base.
Okay, all right. So here is a few of the copal. Does that look like enough?
Oh, that looks wonderful.
All right, so I'm using copal resin. Oh, let me smell.
Just that and it's
that's heaven.
Oh, this candle's gonna be awesome.
Oh, that's heaven.
It's gonna be so awesome.
There we go. All right.
All right. Do you want this in the bowl, or?
No, I think the resins, I'm gonna wait till I figure out how much herb we need. So just plop them down there.
Now these will also be great because I noticed you saw when you took a close-up, I stood at the top of mine with flowers, but you can also set them with resin. It will look like little bitty gemstones better than wax.
Oh, that's true. All right, so here is some calendula flower. All right, so I really like calendula flower. And I'm going to take a couple of the big seed heads and not put them in there and get more petals. And just some of the seed heads, because we will need the some heads. They probably put out more scent actually than the petals.
Yeah, and you want it to look nice, and seeing those big pieces of flowers in there, it will let you know what's in the candle.
Yeah. And then here is some hibiscus.
Oh, always smells so good.
Yeah. All right, and then here is some red rose.
That was my favorite part of my candle.
Yeah. All right, and then by the time we put the resin in there, that looks about right, don't it? Okay.
Yep.
So that's the ones I picked off the shelves at the Cornerstone Market.
one of the greatest places to be.
There you go. And I won't need these because I was thinking we was going to have to break, you know, chop that up, but we won't now. So now the first thing though, the first thing we need to do though is put a little bit of layer of wax.
Yeah, you want just a little bit of a base.
Is that okay? Yep. All right, so that's about a half an inch, guys. All right, so now what do? Do we just start sprinkling a little herb and then, okay, so I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna like blend these herbs up so that they're not in layers. And so, well actually, you did this before, so let me hold the camera and let me show you doing it.
Pick it like this and I just pick it up and drop it because it's kind of like a salad. It will eventually all get mixed up in all nice proportions. The other way to do it is if you don't like the mess, if your hands are big enough, mine aren't, I got my fiance to do it, hand over top.
Oh, and shake, okay?
Shake.
Yeah, look at you. I can, your hands just ain't big enough. No. But you know, a different container could have been used and worked in a different way.
See, I used a smaller mouth container when I did mine, so I was able to comfortably put my palm over the top and shake it very well.
All right. Okay, so go for it. Let's see what you're going to do. You've got that shooked it up. So now you've got your wax, you've got your herbs, you've got your resin.
And I actually just rotate the jar as I drop in the flowers because then it just radiates everything out. Now, do you want yours in layers or do you want yours mixed?
I want you to do it the way you did yours.
Well, I started off as a layer and then I shook it up after I got everything in and I clamped the top of the jar.
Oh, okay. All right. So just do it.
So I'm going to drop you a few studs of everything in. And if you really want things to look nice, shake out some of the bigger stuff towards the sides. That way,
oh yeah, so it'll be seen, yeah.
Yep. And then you just fill up around it. Shake it to even out and repeat.
Say.
Oh, look at that big piece of hibiscus right there. That's going to look so pretty poking out. So I'm just going to scoot it right towards the edge. That way you'll see it poking
totally
out.
Cool.
Yep. And that's the great thing about making your own candles because you can design them however you want them to be. They're your personal piece. I've never considered myself an artsy person, so this is about as close as I get to art.
You've never considered yourself artsy?
No.
I thought this was very artsy.
Thank you. It's always nice to be appreciated.
There you go.
That petal's supposed to go in. Yeah, and I usually like to put some of the harder stuff around the wick because as the fire touches it, it will burn. And because they burn longer, they'll touch the rest of the herbs and burn them.
Ah.
And it kind of snowballs out. And it's just so easy. I mean, it's pouring stuff into a jar.
All right, save a little wax for the top.
Yeah, you want to save about a quarter of whatever you're using.
Yeah.
A good inch to maybe a half inch.
All right.
So you can seal up the top of it.
All right.
Because you don't want all your hard work to just go falling out.
Yeah.
Trust me, I did that the first time and I almost cried because I couldn't get my stuff. Now, would you like to save some resin for the top of yours, or do you want to just stud it with something else? Or do you want to
we can get a little bit more resin out.
Okay, not a problem. And that's it. You pour the rest of the wax on.
We gotta heat that.
True.
Yeah,
True.
because
there's a couple of different ways to do it.
Now, you, on this right here, you heated this wax with a handheld torch.
Yeah, I actually went to Dollar General and bought me a little bitty lighter that had a torch part on it. Sprinkled my layer of beeswax in, and I held it around it, and it melted it into a solid wax.
So you actually melted it in the jar?
Yep.
Okay. So, but we have the problem that I don't have that. Yeah. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of wax on top of the candle.
Now I still have to shake it before we seal it.
Okay. You know what? So, I'm really liking the layered look.
Huh? It's up to you.
Yeah, let's see. Yours is shaken.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this one this way, and then we can see the difference in them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the rest of this wax, and I'm gonna put it in this pot right here. And it's not the best way to go at it, we think.
Well,
but
another way to do it is put a little bit of water in the bottom of the pot, and are these
yeah, and then sit this down in there, and that might be a good
It's a little faster, and it's a lot gentler. You don't have to worry about burning it. You don't have to worry about it breaking.
Yeah. So you can either do, sit your container, if it's heat proof, into water, or use a double boiler. If you're making several of these candles at one time, it won't be such an issue because you'll have a lot of wax in here to use for your sealant.
Right.
But because we've got such a little amount of wax to use that we're melting,
Cover the bottom.
Yeah, because of how little that, we're going to have a little bit of issue maybe. So just hang tight. We're going to see what happens. Hey everybody. Yeah, I still have bedhead. Alright, so my wax is melted. And I'm going to show you with this camera. Okay, so I'm going to drop 2 pieces of wax in there. Oh, I think I accidentally picked up something else off the table, a little black speck of some kind. Get that out. Alright, so we're watching those things melt. And see how they're still melting? So now we're going to drop another couple in, and we're going to watch them. And when this wax, when they can hold up, as you might say, we're letting this wax cool. And so in my opinion, because those wax beads are still melting, it's not cool enough yet.
No, it needs to be really cool, or it's just going to go straight to the bottom of the jar.
Yeah. So that's my thoughts on how to tell.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. And just, swish it around a bit.
Yeah, because you're fixing to be pouring it on top of beeswax, so if it's melting these, it's too hot to go in there because it's going to melt the ones underneath and just run straight down.
Yeah. And so you can see it's still melting.
It is slowing.
It's slowing, that's for sure. Now it seems to have...
It's slowing down significantly now.
Yeah. Matter of fact, it looks like...
I think it has stopped.
I think it might be cool enough. Alright. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this spoon, right? Okay, we're going to take the spoon. So let's see what happens. Is it staying?
Yeah, it looks like it's staying. It's cooling on contact.
And why we're doing this is so that you can move your candle around, give it as gifts, transport it, all that kind of thing. So now you do that a couple times and let me video what we're doing. Do it from the other side so that I can video.
Oh, I'm a lefty.
Uh-oh.
Bear with me, guys. Oh my gosh.
If the pot's just on the other side, you could do it with that hand. The pot's not that. I don't know. We're putting you to task. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can overcome. I'm just going to touch a little bit more right through here. And it looks like we've got a good seal on almost everybody here. And you can tell that it's definitely cool enough because it's starting to turn that milky white as it hits. Okay.
Need a little bit right there. Yep.
And that's it. That's all that's in the pot.
All right, so now, even though it's still mushy, see, you can see that that's not going to escape now. You can clean up your edges.
Of course.
But that's not going to escape. Isn't that gorgeous, guys?
And this is the time that you would want to put something down on the top of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
This is the time that you would want to put something down on the top of it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so...
Before it cools.
Before it cools. So I can put, let's say, one of those in there. And if you had the torch light thingy-badoocher, you could have...
It does make it a little bit easier.
Well, you could reheat the top layer to cause whatever it is to stick.
Yep.
And then that would be pretty. Ooh, there's a little, is this the myrrh or the
myrrh is the brown?
Yeah, the myrrh. The myrrh comes in much bigger rosin pieces than the.
To me, this is just herbal glitter for your candle.
Yeah, well, it will sink down in there.
Yeah, as you light it and as it goes down, it will start sinking down. But it's just a nice, pretty presentation to show people and to give it to people.
Yeah.
And especially if you know they like certain things, you can put their favorite flowers on top.
And let me show you what that looks like. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so now also open that up. Now, just as, you know, after you've cleaned your edges and everything, you could take some of just the petals of some kind and just lay it on top. But now, you could also heat the wax and then sprinkle that on there and it would stick to the wax.
Exactly.
But I'm just showing you that you could do that just for pretty, and I don't have a torch to relight the wax. But after you've done this, you could heat up some more wax and just sprinkle it around the top.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that would be really, really nifty.
Yeah. And all that's left to do is clip the candle wick off to whatever length you want it. Because, like me, I put a lid back on mine, so I cut it down below the bottom of the rim, so I could screw the lid back on.
Yeah, and now one of the things that's so fun about this is, or I think it's fun about it, my candle smells
It just
good.
smells so good in here right now.
Yep. Is if you've had one of these oil warmers, see, this one comes with a little dish that sits on top for you to put oils in, or waxes that have had oils in them. But you can act, and like here is a candle that we commonly sit on this, and then when it gets fully melted, we'll pour a little extra fragrance oil or essential oil in it just to make the shop smell good. But we don't light this candle, we just warm this candle on the oil warmer because it's designed, it has a little sitting plate right here designed to do that, and then also the dish goes there if you're going to do an oil warmer. So you could technically, without a wick, if you didn't get a wick, if you didn't have a wick, then you could do this and then you could just sit it on there. It would start slowly melting everything. Things would change position a little bit as they melted, and you would get the wafty scent, but you wouldn't get the fun smoky scent.
Yeah, and for those people that like have asthma or have, you know, maybe a little kid is around and you don't really want fire, this is the greatest alternative to still get those same smells and those same aromas without the danger of fire.
That's right. So if you didn't want to light it on fire, or you couldn't light it on fire because you didn't have a wick, you could put it on one of these.
Exactly.
We sell them here at the store for like $16.99 with the dish too. And so that's a way. And then the other way, of course, is to light it. And then when you light it, of course, it just, it just starts here, and it takes a while for it to start heating up the whole candle and for all the odors. And then as the flame actually touches a herb, then that gets on fire.
Yep.
And it starts
incense.
And it starts smoking, and you get the incense. Too. It's so lovely.
Yeah, it's a candle and an incense had a baby.
That's right. A candle and an incense had a baby.
You gotta love it.
What? You gotta love it. You gotta love it. So let me just give y'all one more close-up view before we go. So this one's hers, and she gave hers the shimmy shake.
Yep, the shaken, not stirred.
The shaken but not stirred. That's right. And she glued, those are stuck, her rose petals to that by putting it in the hot wax.
Yep. I got rose and lavender on top.
And I left mine in layers, and I just liked it and thought it would be fun to show the difference. And then I have some resin stuck in the top, and then some petals just laid on the top. But I could easily melt up some more wax and just sprinkle it on the top, and that would cement those in.
And it's just going to be so gorgeous when this one lights, because in a darker room, you're going to see the sparkleness on the resins from the light flickering on the resins, and it's just going to be so pretty.
That's so cool.
It's going to be so pretty.
All right. So a candle and an incense had a baby, and it's really nifty, and I hope that you might enjoy it. Whenever you try this, put down in the comments what you did, what you put together, how it turned out, how you liked it. Tell me, please. And thank you so much for becoming a patron. I really appreciate that. It costs you $1 a month. You'll find links in the description. Thank you so much for using my Essential Depot link when you buy your beeswax. And thank you so much for watching the commercials. It really helps me out. And if you need a free soap making recipe, there'll be a link down here to KimberlyMacNut.com. And then if you would like to join our soaping group pages, the links are down here. If you would like to follow me on Facebook, you'll find my Facebook page down here below as well. And if you'd like to buy some soap or other products from me, you can find my website address down here below. And I so thank you for coming and doing this. It's so awesome. Isn't it awesome that she was willing to come down and do this? And so, an incense had a baby with a candle. Wow.
And guys, don't forget to subscribe to her. She is the best. If you're new watching this video, please subscribe.
Thank you so much. Yes, and hit the freaking like button.
Yes.
If they say if I don't tell you to do it, you won't. Do it. Do it now. Come on, do it.
We're watching.
We're watching. It's not Big Brother though. It's just Kim. She's just watching. It's all right. She's nice. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.